Hi everyone, it's Clez and it's 2011, which means that it will soon be time for Nano, so I thought I would make a little kind of 1 month in advance video just saying what my plans were going to be this year before I eat my lunch, which is sitting right here. So it's the 1st of October, which means that it is a month until Nano starts. Annoyingly, Nano starts on Tuesday this year, which is usually one of the days when I have to start work early. So, you know, go figure. And this year I've decided to kind of do a follow-up of the one I wrote the year before last. So not, what did I call my Nano last year? Hit the Ground Running? Not the kind of like mishmash supernatural spy thing I did, because I ended up hating that. I never finished that, by the way. In case the sudden absence of videos didn't give it away. But I'm gonna basically do a follow-up to Origins. In case you couldn't guess, I do need to reread that Nano, because I can't even remember the proper title. So yeah, I'm gonna do another part of that, because I had a lot of fun writing that, and I actually finished it, which is it really says something for me. I usually don't finish things. I'm terrible at starting things and then never finishing them, but with Origins, I really got into it, and because it was it's a character I loved so much, I really committed to it, and it, you know, there's probably errors all the way through it. I really do need to read it and, you know, proof it, clean it up. What I really need to do before I start this year's Nano is just read it, see what I did, and then figure out where exactly I'm going to pick that story up from. I know I'm going to skip some years. It's going to be several years later. It might even be something like 20, if not more, which does put me in sort of shaky territory, because it will require me to, well, technically speaking, because Cole and the people around him, people like, if you remember, anyone who's watching this who's been with me for a couple of years now, people are like, hi. Characters like Cole, Aswitha, Gareth, they're all technically my creations, but they're RPG characters, which means they're surrounded by all these others at all times who aren't mine. And there's one character who, granted, wouldn't really be able to do a lot if I included her, but she's hugely important in that she's born into the pack, and hundreds of years later she and Cole end up as mates. So, you know, and like now in the game when we play them, because we still play the game, they're actually the alphas of the pack. Spoilers! So yeah, you know, but she's not mine. She belongs to a friend of mine called Tanisha, 10, we call her. So I'm just saving my bread. It looked a bit precarious. Balance atop my lunch. I don't know why I felt the need to share that with you. Back to the story. So yeah, her name's Dia, and as it is in the story, she'll be, because she's just shy of, this is going to sound weird, but remember, these are werewolves, so years don't really matter. She's about 90 years younger than Cole, so at most she'd be like a toddler, which is appealing to me because it would just be the most endearing thing ever, and I might speak to 10, my friend 10, and see how she would have acted around him, because Cole would be like a man grown by the time, you know, she became aware of her surroundings, and she would have grown up with him, and now you know, they're husband and wife basically in the game. And like one of my RPG OTPs, it has to be said. So yeah, that's sort of uneven footing for me. It's a grey area. I mean, push comes to shove, what I should do is say, hey, are you okay with me including her? There's someone else that I might be able to include. I have to read up on him. His name's Dante. No surname. Just Dante. And he was played to begin with, but the player left the game, so he's been in NPC status for a while. We're in the process of writing him out. He's leaving, not dying. And he was always kind of like a rival for Cole way back when. So yeah, I need to figure out how old he is, and if he'd be there, and then whether he was born into the pack. So there's a lot I need to figure out in the space of a month. I also need to figure out a plot. I've been thinking, you know, because I've known for a while that I want to pick up on Origins where I left off, so I've got some work to do. I'm going to see if I can have a rough outline. I'm going to see if I can come up with some plot and some twists ahead of time. Because I think that would make a nice change for me to actually plan rather than just winging it. Because sometimes when I wing it, I can sit here for half an hour thinking, what do I do now? Where are they going with that? You know, even if I do have a plan and I kind of deviate from it, then at least I'll have an outline. And I think if I have an outline, that might be good for me. I know I'm going to go back to listening to instrumental music. So that's really good. I actually have the Game of Thrones score, and I have a feeling I'll be listening to that a lot, because that is like some of the most epic music ever. It's fantasy, so it's the right era. You know, it's like medieval, and it's got lots of like cellos and other strings, and there are kids screaming outside and they're driving me nuts today. Sorry if you can hear them. I'm also reading, I don't know if you can see it over there, no you can't. I'm also reading A Song of Ice and Fire. There's the box set, right there, and the Dance with Dragons underneath. I'm reading them right now. They are like the best books I've ever read, and I'm hoping that reading them and writing the same kind of era will maybe make me a better writer. I'm hoping I can take something from George R.R. Martin. I might use some of the words he uses, because, you know, that's like a walking medieval thesaurus. Guy's got like 5 words for horse. What is that? Guy's done his research. Yeah. I will just say ahead of time, I'm only on part 1 of Storm of Swords, because they split it in 2 in England. Don't spoil me, or I will gut you with a spoon. And if you know where that quote's from, you get a cookie. But yeah, you know, a little bit of respect, please. If you've read further than the first half of The Storm of Swords, don't tell me anything, please. Anyway, have I got anything else to say? I'm actually quite excited. It does suck that I might have to work early on the first day of Nano. I won't be able to start at midnight, but I can't remember a time in Nano past when I've actually started at midnight. I finish work at 2 every day. I might start at 9 in the morning instead of 11 like I normally do. Yes, I only work 3 hours a day. It's wonderful. But I do have every weekend off. So those weekends, especially the weekends when my sister is working and I have like the house to myself like I do now, I can just go. You know, I can get hopefully a few thousand words written. And if I get an outline and I get a good flow going, then fingers crossed, you know. I would say I've got high hopes, but I don't want to put a lot of pressure on myself. Anyway, I hope some of the writing friends I made in the past couple of years in Nano are going for it this year. I'm an idiot, and I can't remember anyone's name. I'm sorry, I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. Just did. But, you know, I got a terrible memory, so it's nothing personal. I hope, you know, you're going to go for it this year, and I hope you do well. And to those of you out there on YouTube, hey, I hope you'll be following me, and if you do writing videos as well, I'll follow you. So until then, I will, if not before, I might do another one before, see you on the 1st of November. Bye.